Good morning, good afternoon, or good night. This is Tatsuya TMA, bringing you another Tatscast number 17. In this match, I will be playing Katarina. I've actually had some requests for a cat video, so decided to play some cat in the ranks. She's actually very, very strong right now, and she's crazy. Her mobility is just nuts. It's just nuts. As you see, the person I'm walking on top of is Reckoning Valk. You might have recognized him in some of my other videos. It is somebody that I duo queue with. Anyways, let's talk about the matchups. I am playing Katarina in the mid against their Gragas. In the top line, we have our Renekton versus their Ryze. That is so far a lot of AP for their team. In the bottom lane, we have our Leona and Caitlyn versus their Zilean and Ezreal. And in the jungle, we have Skarner versus Leona. So myself is Cat versus Gragas. I kind of like this matchup just because he has to hit me with the barrels earlier in the lane in order to really harass me down, and she has just so much mobility that she can usually dodge the barrels pretty well with Dat Shanpo. In terms of bottom lane, Zilean has definitely a lot more harass with his bombs than Leona does, but Leona has a lot of CC, and she can really just zone people out with their stuns and crazy amounts of CC, especially once she hits 6 and gets that ult, I should say. Caitlyn and Leona chilling in the bush, waiting for an unsuspecting victim. The reason that I wrapped around here is because I saw that Caitlyn and Leona weren't coming up to help that Skarner, as there is no more leash. I'm gonna turn this on manual here for a quick sec and watch my lane. As there is no more leash in Season 3, as minions will just go to the closest target instead of chasing after their original target, it can definitely be very, very helpful for lanes to come help their jungler out. Their jungler, if you will, just because it allows them to have a little bit of an easier start, not have to drop quite as many pots, missing last hits, missing more last hits. So be nice to your jungler if you want ganks. It's the same people that don't help with that initial jungle that will sit there and complain, be like, why aren't you ganking? Well, because I don't have enough life, because I'd use all my pots on blue. So, normally I level Dancing Blade. However, I wanted to kind of see what some people were doing in Season 3 with Cat, and I looked up some different guides or whatnot, just to see what people were building and how people were building her, and I saw a lot of things. A lot of people were leveling Sinister Blade, which is the AoE ability that she has. I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I think that would actually net me more damage. The Ignite's down. Lee Sin coming in, hopefully to gank, but will not. Katarina having to drop that pot. First blood, not happening yet. And so like I showed right there, like that mobility, he threw out the barrel, and I was on the other side of him because of Shampo. Lee Sin really wanting to come in to get that gank. Missing last hits. Missing another last hit. Ugh. It had actually been a little bit since I've played Katarina. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get the swing of things here in this match. Dancing Blade and Sinister. It is called Sinister something, right? Sinister Steel, that's the name of it. Alright. We'll go back to directed camera for a little bit. Oh, and first blood. We hit directed camera just in time to see that Leona crack the first blood on the Zilean. Support v support. Fed Leona too strong. So I'm definitely sitting at a little bit of lower health than I'd like to be in the lane at this point. I really should go back, however. Gragas has a pretty strong ability to push, but he doesn't have a lot of mana. However, he is dropping mad Tatsuya. He did the start that I absolutely hate in Season 3, which is Flask and a billion pots. The Rune Prison goes down. The Ignite is down. Both flashes out. Will the Ignite be enough? Yes, it will. Second blood goes to Renekton. Katarina sitting at 22 farm versus Ezreal's 14. Doing pretty well there. Renekton picked up that kill on Ryze. Feeling pretty strongly about this. 2-0. The big thing to do when you start to get an early lead is to really take advantage of it. Zilean bombed himself instead of bombing that Leona. Zil, bomb Leona. Don't bomb yourself, because if she doesn't chase, then it's wasted mana. Remember. Skarner trying to come in from behind, but they did see him come down that river as it is currently boarded. So yeah, one of the things I've seen a lot of teams do is they get an early lead and then fall off, and it's because I feel like some teams or some people don't know how to take advantage of that lead. Oh, Renekton coming into the bush, but seeing the Lee Sin, and directed camera wants to show us the action down bottom because Renekton will make it out just fine. Katarina getting hit by that barrel, placing some damage right back. Instead, Skarner, instead of helping, walks right by the turret. Oh, and the stun. Ezreal gets hit by the headshot as well as a pilt over Peacemaker. That's that CC that I was talking about. Especially, it's real nice for Caitlyn because it's definitely tough to brick a skill shot when somebody's standing still. Now Ryze just harassing down the Renekton. It's not really to be. The ult comes out. Both ignites are down, but Gragas, you should have known that you were gonna die and not wasted that flash. The ignite's down on Caitlyn. She has a bomb on her. Will she live through it? Yes, she will. But Lee Sin's coming in. Lee Sin is coming in. The stun goes down on Leona. And by Leona, I mean Lee Sin. So yeah, this is definitely a tough matchup for Renekton just because once Ryze gets a little bit of mana. Oh, Rennie, what are you doing? Oh, the ults! The ult, both are shitting real low. The Rune Prison. Prison. I can't speak today, so I'm just gonna sing my cast. Now Katarina coming up for the easy kill. The Dancing Blade goes out to Shumpo and the ult to put him down. Now at 2-0. One of the things to always keep in mind with Kat is you want to gank other lanes. She's a very, very strong ganker because she can output some serious damage. She has real low cooldown on her ult. So it's a good ward. Skarner versus Lee Sin in the jungle. Skarner will make it out just fine to his turret. So yeah, with Kat, you definitely want to gank lanes as much as you possibly can, but it's kind of a healthy balance because you don't want to sacrifice your turret early or just allow mid to free farm. You want to force the mid to have to come in after you and late. The Katarina ult goes out, but Lee Sin will flash over the wall. However, now Gragas ults to make it away, and he will dash out to safety. Lee Sin getting the red from the purple team. So yes, as I was saying, you want to gank other lanes, but you want to do it hopefully in a way that you can not sacrifice your turret and not sacrifice too much farm. So what that means is you kind of want to shove your lane and then go gank a lane, and then shove your lane and then go gank a lane. Leona in on the Zilean, and the Sunburst will put him down. Leona taking another kill, 2-0. Katarina, and sorry, Caitlyn, 0-1. 0-1. Apparently she did not have a piece of that first kill on Zilean, which is quite hilarious. So, as you see by the items down below, I went for the early haunting guys. It's such a strong item. It's funny how granted it's being built a lot more now, I'd say, because it actually builds into something. So rather than wasting gold by having to sell it, you can actually build it into something. But the flash out, the slow is down. Sinister still will give me enough speed to make it away. And Renekton ulting in on this Ryze. There's just action all over the place all the time in this match. Just be cray-cray, yo. Caitlyn misses the pilt over on the Zilean, and the ward goes down. Renekton coming back in. Katarina comes up to finish it off. Renekton was just baiting him in, keeping him at that turret, allowing Kat to get the killing spree. Kat forcing the flash out of Ryze. So yeah, as I was saying, that haunted guys, what it builds into... Thanks, Gragas. Shunpo out. And the ult is down. Skarner picking up a kill. Leona going on a killing spree. That support. Renekton, I feel, is always low. Gets the stun off, gets the Q off, and goes down. Ryze. Too strong. That was without his ult, without the spell vamp. Renekton trying to be a little bit too greedy. Caitlyn is such a pain in the ass. I don't think I've done a Caitlyn cast yet. No, I haven't. But she is just such a pain. Her range, she just outranges like everybody. Her harass is just so strong. She can just force a lane. She can force a lane underneath the turret, and if the support keeps some good wards up, you know, she has that net to get away. Kind of a soft disengage. Wards. Forcing the flash out of Gragas. Forcing him out of lane. When you are playing Katarina, feel free to ult, not necessarily on cooldown, but on cooldown. Because it's such a low cooldown. You are a manaless champ, so you're not going to be wasting any mana. So you can use it as another form of harass, and people aren't going to sit in and fight you when you're ulting. And if they do, they're probably going to die. I don't remember the name of it. The thing that the hunting guys built out of. Latrimony, Lara, something, whatever. It's definitely not an item to rush. Renekton coming in on this Ryze. Ryze ults and Renekton will walk away. Renekton definitely having some trouble with the Ryze now. So yeah, that is definitely not an item to rush after your haunting guys. The haunting guys is definitely a lot of really good early damage, but you don't want to rush the upgrade. Lee Sin kicking the Caitlyn back in. The ult goes out. Caitlyn gets hit by the Ezreal ult and will go down to the arcane shifting in Ezreal. But now Leona and Skarner coming in 2v3. And Skarner ulting in on the Ezreal. Ezreal will go down to the Skarner. Leona will flash out from the Lee Sin. Oh, but Didn't see it. Ezreal was ulted by Zilean and does not go down. Now Katarina coming in, trying to ult in on this Gragas. Should have held the ult until you were in a bigger group. This could have been a triple kill. But will Sinister steal for the Rampage, and no, will not pick up the double. Skarner will take down the Gragas. So right there, I busted the ult a little bit too soon. Definitely should have held out instead of just for one. Should have moved in on the bigger group and ulted. Potentially could have picked up a triple there. And purple team, as they won that team fight, will take an objective of Dragon. I will finish my thought. So the reason that you don't necessarily want to, or that the upgraded hunting guys is more of a mid-late to late game item is because it doesn't add too much AP. Really what it adds is the passive of your abilities apply the burn of 5% of their health, or if their movement is impaired, then 10% of their health. And that burn, it doesn't do too much damage early on because people don't have that much health. And I know you're saying, well, it's still a percentage, so any percentage helps. But it definitely just, it'll scale a little bit harder into late game, and there's better earlier items on. Yo peeps. Lee Sin coming in for the counter jungle. Skarner is kicked back out all by himself. Caitlyn trying to ult in on that Lee Sin, which she does. However, not enough damage will be had. And the Caitlyn ult goes down. And by Caitlyn ult, I mean Katarina ult. And the bricked flash into the side of the wall. But still picked up a kill. Unfortunately, both summoners were used. Now 5-0-2. As you see here, I went for a very early Void Staff. Now, nobody's really building any MR yet. Leona diving down onto the Zilean, but Zilean ults. Will he still make it out? Yes, he will. So I went for the really early Void Staff. I was just kind of trying out a little bit of a Magic Pen build. And Void Staff is actually a really good amount of ability power, as well as a lot of Magic Pen. So because I went for that early haunting, guys, I said, you know what? I'm going to go for a Void Staff. And what fits well with that? Long dramatic pause while I slightly yawn. Is an Abyssal. And an Abyssal would be great against this opposing team because there are a lot of magic damage. Lee Sin waiting in the bush. Skarner ults in on the Lee Sin. The Ignite is down, and Skarner putting down the Lee Sin. Good job, Skarndog. 3-1-1. Meanwhile, Gragas not helping the Lee Sin. I do not know what that Lee Sin was doing, just sitting in the bush all by his lonesome with like no vision on anything. Gragas is ahead of me on farm. He's at 131, I'm at 116, mainly because of what I said before. I was ganking a lot of the lanes, and he kind of just sat in the lanes to farm. But Katarina can clear minion. Once she hits a certain point where her Dancing Blade and Sinister Steel are high enough and she has some AP, she can actually clear a wave pretty well. And Leona coming in on the Zilean saying, you know what, I'm the better support. Sunburst. The Caitlyn ult comes out and puts down the Zilean from across the river. Oh, Caitlyn too strong. We decided, you know what, Lee Sin, you're going to counter jungle us while we're sitting there. We're going to counter jungle you. Room Prison is down. The 1v1. Ryze versus the Renekton. And Ryze has his ult up, but will be forced to flash over the wall as Renekton was ulted as well. And as you see on the minimap, Renekton is apparently forced out. now we are starting the mid dance. What is the mid dance? That's when one of the other turrets or two of the other turrets have gone down and everybody goes mid. Mid is a very, very strong turret to take down just because it gives you a lot of map control. It's probably the worst one to go down early because it gives you sight all the way across your mid lane, so you can see if any team goes across through the jungle. It gives a lot of sight, gives a lot of control. Skarner bringing that bomb over to Leona. Why are you doing that? That's not nice. So blue team definitely has a lot more poke. Zilean can put the bombs on from a distance. Gragas has his barrels. Ezreal is Ezreal, and Leona has his Q. Versus, our Caitlyn has the pilt over, but other than that, there's Katarina's dancing blade. But blue team definitely has a lot more poke. So in terms of the mid dance, we're not going to want to sit there and dance for too long. And Ryze coming in from the side, ulting. Oh, but he makes it out. And the tower is still not down. Skarner will go down. Renekton almost going down. The ignite is on the cat, and cat goes down. Gragas shutting down Katarina and forcing Caitlyn to back out. So that team fight was definitely in blue team's favor. They only lost their Zilean, and we lost a cat, Skarner, and Caitlyn was definitely pretty low. Will they take a turret because of it? They should take a turret because of it. But they will back off to the Leona. I think Ezreal was a little bit scared of this Leona as she's, 3-0-2. Obviously causing some issues for them down in the bottom lane. The thing that messed that team fight up was, or that kind of our attempt at taking down that turret, was Ryze coming in from the side and ulting. He has a ton of AoE damage with his ult, because all of his abilities do AoE damage when he ults.
Blue team's turret has been
so he is definitely a target in this one. So as you see, I'm slowly starting to catch up in farm to Gragas, even though it's out of laning phase. Oh, Caitlyn, be careful. And we are backing away from this dragon as it is a 5v4. Renekton is still up top. We were asking him to come down, saying dragon was up. Let's dragon, let's dragon, let's dragon. And he said, nope, I am pushing top lane. This is my lane. I want it.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So purple team is up 14-5. However, like I said, Ryze has a lot of AoE damage. Gragas has a lot of AoE damage and the ability to just really mess things up. Ryze catches the cat with the rune prison. That should have been an all-in on cat. By the way, cat is the most fed right now, so if they can catch her out and use all their ults to bring her down, it is totally worth it. So when he rune prisoned, everybody should have collapsed in and just taken out the cat, because that's a lot of the AoE damage, and they would have been able to do it pretty quick and then kind of back out and then do this mid dance as a 5v4, which it is right now because I was forced out. They just will not push in on this turret. So, where blue team has a lot more poke, they don't really have a hard engage like our Leona. The Leona ult goes out, only hitting the Zilean, and he will ult out. And as I saw that all ways to knock me out of my ult were out, jumping in and ulting, bringing down that Gragas. The flash goes out, getting a little bit greedy now, taking too many turret hits, and I will go down to a Zilean. And Ryze will go down, or sorry, Renekton will go down to the Ryze. Ryze flashing in, getting a double kill on that Leona, and now Skarner chasing with a bomb on top of him. So as you saw, that was definitely purple team getting a little bit too greedy. We had won the team fight right around here. We came away with an advantage, and rather than just simply pushing down and the minions and trying to push down this turret as their team was low health, we chased them and just kind of took wrong people, took turret hits, and that's what happened. So as you see now in terms of builds, I am going for that Abyssal Scepter for a little bit more magic resist shred. Real interesting. Ezreal went for an early black cleaver, which you don't see on an AD carry too often. Might have been a little bit stronger in Season 2 on an AD carry as it has that attack speed, but you know, it is some nice beef and some nice armor pen. I like it more of a mid-game item or a middle item rather than an early item on an AD carry, just because, you know, a Bloodthirster, an Infinity Edge, and will Leona make it out? Yes, she will. Why did she ult in? But the Katarina ult goes down. Gragas ulting to knock him out. Caitlyn ulting down on that Lee Sin, going for the rampage. Cat sitting in the back, way too low. Caitlyn coming in, picking up the double kill. Nobody's really focusing down the Caitlyn.
Blue team double kill.
And Ryze will get the double kill. Cat a little bit low, but seeing potentially an opportunity for Caitlyn to come in and clean up. However, she did back out. However, still picked up another kill. 7-3 and 6. And we went 3 for 3 on that one. Leona definitely went in and ulted and stuck her face in a little bit too quickly without saying or pinging or doing anything, and the purple team definitely did not react in time. It's kind of why that one was a little bit out of favor for the purple team, but blue team is now catching up on kills. We were up I know at least 14-5 at one point, and now it is 19-11. Granted, that was a 3 for 3, but their Ryze is definitely causing some major issues for us, as he just has a ton of AoE damage. He has that Rune Prison to you know, lock somebody down out of a team fight. But we still have a 7-3 and 6 cat. Fortunately, a little bit more deaths than I'd like at this point. Purple team's mid will go down. Caitlyn walking face first into a barrel. So if you're doing what we're doing right here, which is kind of marching down, and both teams are clearing out the minions, and there's a Gragas on the other team, right? So Gragas is going to keep throwing barrels right down the middle of the lane, just like that. Keep yourself on the side of the lanes. Direct to camera. Why are you watching Leona? So keep yourself on the side of the lanes as you're walking down, to force Gragas to not just be able to throw them right down the middle, farm minions, and harass at the same point. He'd have to make a decision to either try and harass you or go after minions. Leona getting locked up by the Ryze. And Lee Sin and Gragas now out of position. All five will engage onto the Lee Sin. The Lee Sin kick is down, and Lee Sin will go down. Skarner really low. Ezreal just sitting on the other side of the dragon pit. The Katarina ult now down, and barely making it out Oh, the Zilean ult is down on the Ryze. And that was a 2-for-3 exchange in purple team's favor. And Ryze goes godlike just in time for Caitlyn to shut him down. That's the right person getting the money. This is Tatscast the musical. So I didn't get too many responses on my last video on whether or not you would want to see other people's casts or other people's games and not just mine. Please let me know if you want me to do that, because I don't like to do things that people don't want to see. You know, like I say almost every single video, I do this for you guys, and if nobody wants to see that, then why do it? Because to me, casting a game is casting a game. Granted, yeah, I like to watch myself, but that's not that wasn't a, you know, super cocky thing. That was, I like to watch myself to see the things that I'm doing wrong, which is always a good thing. If you ever want to make yourself better, watch your own game, see what you do wrong. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe next cast I will cast the game that was sent to me and see what people think. See if I get positive or negative feedback on it. Alright. Katarina has had enough of this coming out of team fights with super low health, so I'm finally going to build my Hex deck. Normally, whenever I play Cat, I actually rush the Hex deck, but I was trying something different this match. I'll probably still get people that are like, "Oh, you're such a noob. You gotta rush the Hex deck on Katarina." That was my troll voice, by the way. Trolly, poly, oly. Back to the mid. One of the other really good things about Cat in the mid is because she's resourceless, it allows the jungler to take the blue, or to give it to somebody else like an AD carry or a support or something. Blue team is pinging for the Cat. The Gragas ult is down. That's one way to get me out of my ult. The Leona ult is down, and the Katarina ult goes out right in the middle of everybody. And Ezreal puts down the Katarina. There was definitely some hard focus. Blue team double kill. Ezreal puts down the Renekton. We go 2 for 1. Definitely a bad exchange for purple team. So many pings. So little time. I think purple team needs... we have Baron warded, but we don't really have any of our jungle warders. They're definitely perpetrating some business up on our jungle. I would like it if there were some more wards in there. Lee Sin and Ryze taking another turret, trying to take advantage of the fact that they were up on that team fight. It would be cool if I don't know if anybody's watched. I'm sure people have actually. The pro tournaments have a little dragon timer that they'll put up, dragon and baron timer actually. And granted, I know it's not part of spectator mode, but it should be part of spectator mode. You should be able to put, like, you know, some timers up or whatnot. You know, for us casters, that'd be nice. It'd be a nice little thing. So what purple team really needs to do in order to win these team fights is to engage early, not let blue team poke so that we start lower, but to engage early in a situation like this and to really take advantage of Leona's ult. as well as trying to put down that Ryze pretty quickly. However, he is starting to get some resistances now, so he will not go down too easily. Blue team stealing the red while they're up here. As you see, the ping is down for Ryze. And the Leona ult goes out. Katarina puts down the Zilean. Now trying to find the Ryze. Skarner keeping the Ezreal out of the fight. And the Skarner ult goes down. It is now Skarner and Renekton versus Lee Sin and Ezreal. The Lee Sin kick goes out, and Ryze is wrapping back around. Renekton still in it. Ryze catching the Caitlyn, and Caitlyn not even realizing, I don't think, netting out. And there's still a full health Katarina. Not full health, but 3/4 health. And there's a Leona back here. Ryze ulting again. Ezreal arcane shifting over. And Cat picking up a kill on the Ezreal, trying to pick up a kill on this Ryze. Will Sinister steal him down? Double kill. Blue team definitely sticking around a little bit too long. Will we see the triple kill? The Dancing Blade, the Shunpo, and the Sinister Steal for the triple kill. The snowball has begun. I remembered how to play AP mid, so in that fight, if you saw, it broke out, and I started off with my ult and then kind of circled back around. It's what we like to call a yo-yo, letting our front line take a lot of the burst, a lot of the damage, and just when you thought it was over, a 3/4 health Katarina is still in it to win it. So that team fight definitely went in purple team's favor, as it would have been an ace if somebody else didn't come back up. Actually, it might have been an ace.
Purple team has slain the dragon.
Purple team has slain the dragon. Still think that should be like more of an English accent. I'm not going to attempt my English accent. Hello, governor. Alright, I'll attempt it. Skarner, what you doing? What you doing, boy? He's all up in that jungle. Now slowed by the Zilean. He's got a bomb on him, but they will not chase. For fear of the Katarina sitting in the bushes, spinning her lovely blades. This Lee Sin overextending a bit, gets stunned by the Renekton. And the Gragas ult doing tons of damage. But Katarina comes in to spin and ult, putting down that Lee Sin, resetting the cooldowns. Now chasing after this Zilean. The Rune Prism goes down, and the flash from Ryze. Katarina going godlike in just 2 team fights. So a 3-for-1 exchange for purple team. Katarina definitely starting to hard snowball. The Rune Prison. And all 3, Cat, Kate, and Skarner, forced out. Way too low of health. As you see, after that last triple kill, I picked up a lot of gold in that fight. I was sitting earlier maybe on about 1,000 gold, and I was going to go for my maybe to finish off more of the Hex Tech, but because I picked up the triple kill and an assist on the other deaths, I was sitting on about 3,000 gold. So I said, you know what? If you look at the team, Caitlyn has a lot of kills. She's 8-1 and 10. I have a lot of kills, and I'm definitely a primary focus. So I just bought my GA outright. And because Ezreal is definitely causing some issues and putting out some decent damage at this point. So many wards. They have 3 wards right here. That's so much money for Baron. And this doesn't even see this, which is hilarious. It would have been more beneficial for Lee Sin to... Actually, I can't say it would have been more beneficial to get an Oracle, because if he hit tab, we would have realized that, like, you know, nobody's buying wards on our team. Skarner has the Iceborne Gauntlet. That is such a strong item on Skarner because he just keeps using abilities. It's kind of like, you know, beefy Trinity Force because you're getting a bunch of armor too, and you're getting an additional slow. So you toss his original AoE slow, add another AoE slow, and armor, and some ability power, and a Sheen proc. Yes, please. Me likey. Blue team is trying to poke down as much as they can, as they know that that's the way that they're going to really win these team fights, is to poke a bunch, hopefully get some of the carries and some of those pokes, and then to engage once they do, so that purple team starts off lower. Caitlyn says, "You will not pass through my traps." That's actually a really, really smart Caitlyn to do that, because since we have this little dance right here, even if we push in on the turret and move past those traps, if we have to retreat, that's just going to make our retreat that much easier and that much more difficult for blue team to catch up to us. So those are actually some really smart traps. And even though there is space in between them to navigate, it can definitely be something that's tough to navigate if you're chasing after someone. Oh yeah, Leandries. I didn't even have to look. Leandries. I remembered it right before I looked, but it is Leandries. Oh, that feels so much better. So, finish off the Leandries. Last item to finish up is that Hextech. Ryze wanted to clear out those traps now that we are retreating. Ping, 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 ping. Blue team is pinging for the Baron. I believe they just love overwarding, I guess, which is better than underwarding, but still could be a waste of gold. And blue team is forced out as they know that purple team is coming in strong. Oh, but Leona gets the pull-in and the ult. Ryze goes down real quickly, ulted by that Skarner. The Ezreal ult goes down, and the Cat ult coming in for the triple kill. Oh, that was so strong on purple team. It was a 3-for-1. Lee Sin jumping straight to that Caitlyn and putting her out. However, they just had nothing to stop the Cat ult from going off in the middle of it, and it just did so much damage. It was a great initiate. Leona sticking her face in the middle of it, catching a lot of the early damage, and then Skarner coming in to ult that Ryze and just bring him straight out of that fight. He has that frozen mallet. No, that's not a frozen mallet. What am I thinking? Frozen heart. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. He has that frozen heart. However, he doesn't have any magic resist yet. I'm 100% assuming that that catalyst that he has right now is not going to be built into an Ohm Wrecker, but rather built into a Banshee's Veil. Which I don't necessarily agree with him going with the Frozen Heart before the Banshee's Veil, because if you hit tab like once, you would have seen that Katarina is definitely carrying harder than Caitlyn. Now Caitlyn definitely hurts, but the MR definitely would have helped earlier. If anything, I say get the Glacial Shroud, because that's still a lot of mana and a lot of the armor. Actually, does it builds out of that and a Warden's Mail now. So get the early, Glacial to help with the armor, but then after that, I'd say pick up the Banshee's Veil. Now purple team, after winning that team fight, we'll take objectives, take Baron, and then Dragon. We have about a 9k lead on gold right now. Renekton sticking his face in. Oh, and the others come in back from behind. The Katarina ult goes out. Ryze was dangerous and close. Zilean had ulted the Ezreal, but he comes back up just to get put right back down by the cat as well as the Lee Sin. Purple team now pushing in strong on this mid turret.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Blue team's inhibitor
Taking out the inhib. With it being a 5v3, we know that we can just dive these turrets and force them out. Try and go for the win. Caitlyn. If Caitlyn was down, it would be a completely different story, but we can do exactly what we're doing right here, which is forcing them away from the turrets while Caitlyn plunks and plunks and plunks them down. Both Nexus turrets out. Ward's going down. And it is a victory for purple team. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the cat video. I'm sure there will be more to come as she is just so strong, snowballs so hard, and yeah, the Wednesday's game will probably not be my game, but might be somebody else's game. So guys, thanks for watching, and see y'all next time. Oh shit, that's Husky's sign off. I didn't even mean to do it, so I can't leave yet. Alright, bye. Bye, 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 bye.